and I was a real estate broker, or a financial advisor, an insurance broker. And I came up to you and I started chatting to you and I was asking you questions.
First thing you would say would be, da 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 da.
Hi everyone, my name's Spencer Lodge.
And I'm Lewis Alsop.
Welcome to The Close. Ba, 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 ba. I like that music that you use, Emma. That's great music that you use. Do you like the start music for that show?
I hate when you do it.
Do you?
Ba 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 da ba.
Why'd you hate it?
Because you sound like a weirdo. You sound like you've come out of a mental home and you're spinning round just making a weird noise.
And who have you asked about that? Who have you gone to?
I don't need.
And said, do you think Spencer sounds like a weirdo when he does that?
Amma, what does that sound come out of his mouth sound like?
The one that
Yeah.
Do you like it?
No.
No one likes it. Ba 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 da ba. I'm gonna do that to you every time.
I will be like in a small room with like, you know, a headset on my head, just hearing Spencer saying da 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 da. So
Exactly. I go to sleep and do you know what I hear? Ba ba ba
I
ba
invite
ba.
him to come on my show.
My
And
show.
He takes over. He criticises me. He makes me feel like, well, do you know what? You can't make me feel anything. Only I can make myself feel something.
You tell yourself that.
Right. Let's talk about networking. Okay?
Yes.
So I have a think a clear understanding of what networking is, but
Yep.
I don't think many salespeople do.
Okay.
I think lots of salespeople think networking is prospecting.
Yes.
They think they go out into some form of arranged group of people, some event that's
Yep.
called a networking event, and they try and ply their trade there by talking to people and offering their business cards and trying to tap people up for opportunities.
Yeah.
You agree?
That's what I think it is.
Okay, and that's not that. That's
Okay.
that's prospecting.
Okay.
Networking, by its title, okay, is all about building a network.
Yeah.
So how can I, if I'm networking, build a network of people? Well, the first thing I've got to do is think about how I'm going to engage with people and help them.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do to help them think I'm decent.
Yeah.
So let's say I met you at a networking event and we got chatting and whatnot. Okay. My focus would be on thinking about how I, from my own network, could help you.
Yeah.
Rather than thinking about what you could do to help me.
Yeah.
By doing that, I'm going to create trust. I'm
Yeah.
going to create some credibility.
Yeah.
And by having trust and credibility in the relationship between us and genuinely trying to help you,
Yeah.
okay, I'll give you a good example. Omar.
Yeah.
All right. So he's off shot at the moment. Okay, you'll find out who Omar is later on. Omar came to me and said to me, I'm thinking about producing a show. Tell me what you do. Can I have you on my show? I'd love to talk to you in a bit more detail about it. So I went on his show and he interviewed me. And what I realized is that he didn't have so many people to interview, but the best way for me to try and help Omar, okay, was to try and help finding people to interview, give him many tips or as much information as he needed,
Yep.
so that he could get on and build his business or his show successfully. In return for doing that, I've asked nothing of you, correct? Okay, so he's off camera, but I've asked nothing of him.
Except for money.
Okay.
Except from that.
Give us all your money. Give us all your money. And in return for that, he has felt compelled,
Yes.
or has desired to want to try and help me in return. That to me is networking.
Yeah.
Okay, I've asked nothing of him,
Yeah.
but he's wanted to help me because of what I tried to do from the beginning. Now, if you go and meet somebody, let's say I'd met you at a networking event,
Okay.
and I was a real estate broker, or a financial advisor, an insurance broker, and I came up to you and I started chatting to you and I was asking
First
you
thing
questions.
you would say would be, da 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 da. I'd have walked straight off.
There you go. But had I not said that, it's just going to play out for a while. You got this now, yeah? You got to be in drama.
That's it.
And you don't like...
Nah.
I think the word wanker comes to mind right now. So if I met you at a networking event, some form of relaxed social, a cheese and wine evening.
Sounds good, I'm in already.
Okay, a whiskey tasting
What's your
evening.
favourite cheese?
I
I like burrata.
Do you?
Oh, I love burrata.
I'm not... I don't mind it. Is that what you call it in the Midlands?
What do you call it?
Burrata.
Burrata.
I love burrata, mate. That almost sounds like my intro music. But see, put me off now. Can you talk about cheese?
You come to tell me we've gone to wine and cheese night.
Camembert. I like camembert.
I think when it's hot as well, and you can take the top off and dunk.
I do that with brie.
Do you really?
Brie, yeah, more than brie. Anyway,
Come on.
and what wine do you like?
Rosé, but Mirabeau Pure it's called. It's from Saint-Tropez. It is incredible. It's really clear like water, but
Are you
wow.
in touch with your feminine side?
No, I've
You
got
have rosé.
rosé. Yeah, I'm a modern man.
Are you metrosexual?
What does that mean?
What does he think? Well, think about what it means.
You go on the metro.
You're turned on by the metro.
Oh, the metro's got me
I love
going.
the metro, me. Have you felt the seas?
No, I'm not metro. Does metrosexual mean like
It doesn't matter. Let's get back to
let's-
networking. Cheese
So we're back
wine.
at the cheese.
If I meet you for the first time,
Yep.
and we're at an event, there's 20 people there, and I start talking to you about what you do, you start talking to me about what I do.
Oh, look, dun, dun, dun. Okay, so you introduce yourself.
And then we swap business cards.
Yes.
And I try and sell you my wares. I
Yeah.
try and arrange a meeting so I can plug or promote or introduce my business services to you.
That happens now. I
Okay.
get people hounded.
I get it as well.
Yeah.
People I meet for the first time, they shove a business card. I watch people do it. And when I see people do it, I'm like, are you really smart about this? Because if you cold call someone, they don't know anything about you. Okay, you cold call them out of the blue. What relationship do they have with you? None. You meet somebody for the first time.
Yep.
Okay, you don't trust them, you don't know them, you don't know anything about them, and then they want to try and sell you something. But if you meet someone for the first time and you talk to them a little bit, you get to know them a little bit, and they think about ways that they can try and help you.
Agreed.
Okay, if I met you for the first time, we swap business cards, and I said, do you know what? I know a few really good salespeople that are looking for jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I could introduce them to you. Would that be of benefit to you? You were like, yeah, absolutely. Or maybe I said, you know what? A colleague of mine's looking to buy a house at the moment.
Yeah.
Can I put them in touch with you? Exactly what you would want is that opportunity, yeah?
Of course.
Now, I've done something for you. Nothing may come of those people that are looking for a
Yeah.
job. Nothing may come of that guy that's looking to buy a house. But what do you think of me?
Do you want me to answer that?
Ba, 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 da, ba.
No, I get it. It's if we're going to put it very bluntly, it's a very smart sales tactic. You're giving something away for free, expecting nothing, knowing that when you want to call in the favour, it's there. Let's say it how it is. That's a smart networking tool.
That's not smart networking. That's obvious networking. Okay, smart networking is never calling the favour.
No, you don't need to call the favour. I get
Okay.
that. But at some point, if you ever need anything doing, they're reversing it. You're not even asking for it. They'll give it to you because you've already done them a favour, so you don't even have to ask. It's very smart.
So people feel compelled to want to try and help each other.
Correct.
Okay, and again, nobody feels compelled to try and help someone typically
Yeah.
in the first instance. They typically wait for someone to try and help them first before they want to offer help in return.
I have insurance brokers call me now and they go, oh, I met you. Can we talk about insurance? I met you at the golf and I done it. It's a year ago. Same thing, and it's constant. Never met them once because there's no value added in what they're doing. Except for maybe saving me a few thousand dirhams a year. There's nothing that compelled me to go, do you know what, this guy's sent me chocolates or he's put me in contact with someone that's bought a property. Or even this person who I'm talking about, I watched like on the forums, you know, the Brits in Dubai, and you get these things.
Yeah.
And then someone put, who, you know, can anyone recommend a property? And I see this person tagging another real estate company. And I was just thinking, like, small things like that why am I going to go out of my way to help you when really you've done nothing for me and I'm never going to approach you because I don't need to. So going back to what you're saying, yeah, of course, definitely. If you go out the way and we met for the first time and you gave me a property for sale or a bill for sale, I would think I owe this guy something here. And at some point I will come back and show you the love. That's just smart networking, it is.
So, how do you teach that to people? Because what happens with this approach is it's almost like a lengthy approach to building relationships, but a sincere approach that creates trust and credibility. When you've got a young professional salesperson working at your company, for example, that is out there looking for clients, taking that long-winded approach to building relationships typically doesn't sit well with the patience level of that salesperson because he wants to get his win, he wants to get his sale.
I think it's more of a mature person. I think that's the big difference. Is for you to have that type of approach, you need to understand the long game. You need to, you know, I go out of my way and do a lot for people and expect nothing back. I don't expect anything back, knowing that it will come back if that makes sense. But someone that's either young or financially not stable, they're looking for the quick win, and the first port of call is, what can you give me? What can you give me? Where I know, if I was in sales now and I was sitting down, I know that if I gave that person something without giving it back, I know I'm going to get something back in return later on, maybe it's a year or 6 months. You know, I know people who own restaurants and nightclubs, things like that, and I've gone up my way to help them. And a year later, I get a message saying, "Oh, we're opening this new restaurant. Do you want to come down and come in?" I'll never ask them, but you know I've already done something for them, so they'll come back and help you. So, you know, it's paying it forward, isn't it? That's what effectively it is. It's paying it forward, and I'm a big believer in that. But it only took me, you know, the last 5 years really to figure it out that be good to people and it will come back, and it's so true.
So, do you teach that?
Yes,
Okay.
but taking it in is very different, very, very different. A lot of people, especially salespeople, won't do things for free. Why would they do anything for free? And when you try and explain to someone, they go, "Well, time is money," and this and that. So it depends on the type of person. Me and you, respectfully, are on a different level. We are, you know, we've done quite well business-wise, and you know, we've been here a long time, and our roots are settled here.
Well, I have.
Yeah, okay. Well, your roots are settled here and done well, and I'm being dragged show to show, paid 10 dirhams a show.
Do you get 10 dirhams?
Do you not get anything? Yeah, get 10. But if you look at that, like, we don't need, we want the money and the success, but it's not a need. It's not a need for us. Where the younger, newer, fresher person, they need it now. So it's just a very different mindset you got to have. It's not to do with your age. I take that to one side. It is your mindset. Are you willing to be in it for the long term?
Do you think that you select recruits or candidates to work for your company based upon their desire to make money?
Definitely. If you don't, you'd be lying, wouldn't you? Really, you know, if someone picks up the phone to me and says to, or my recruitment team, and says, you know, I'm moving to Dubai because, you know, I love Dubai as a city, and for me, I'm looking to travel the world and see. I don't want to hear that, to be honest with you. I want someone to turn around and say to me, I want to make a better life for myself in Dubai, for my family, whatever it may be. And I've heard there's uncapped earnings. If I'm willing to put the hours in, will I make the money? Yes, you will. So that is definitely what I am looking for.
Okay, and if you taught your staff 3, 4, 5 strategies to building business and making sales, and you asked them to execute on all 5 of those strategies, or 3, whatever it is the number was, do you monitor that?
Like what strategies?
The strategies.
In what strategies? Like,
or do you monitor the results they get regardless of the strategy?
We cannot you can't control someone's figures. So I do not believe for one second I control. If you work for me, I couldn't say he's going to bring in XYZ amount of dirhams a month. I can't control that.
That's not what I mean.
Okay,
what
do
I
you
mean
then?
is if I taught your team 5 strategies and said,
What
right, one of
strategy?
them's networking.
Okay, yes.
Okay, one of them's cold calling. Another one of them is running your social media
Yes.
effectively. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And as part of an employee for your company, they had to employ those strategies.
Yeah.
Do you measure the deployment of that learning,
Not really.
or are you measuring how many sales they make?
You measure the KPIs, calls, viewings, the basics of that end of it. But if you're looking at new implementations, we try and keep people on the pulse. So you look at, one thing I'm implementing at the moment is social media selling. How social media is selling, how it works, what I've learned from it, especially over the last month or so, and what's really come back to me, and showing people how you can, I suppose it's not going to revolutionise your business, but it might improve your brand or get that 1 or 2 clients that you didn't have. So we're not going to monitor it, but I will show people the path for whatever I believe and my vision is for the future of real estate. If we use that as an example, the future of social selling, or whatever it may be. But you can't monitor, when you're at the level we're at, we've got 7 offices around the world. I can't physically monitor everyone's social media campaigns and whatever else. We have to show, explain the benefits of it, and then rehearse a week later or a month later. And if they don't pick it up, they don't pick it up. But we will show people.
So if I'm doing 80% of my prospecting through one of the required channels,
Yes.
and I've got a token 20% going in all the other areas, you don't mind that as long as their activity is
If
there.
the figures come in as well, you've got to take the figures into account. Social media selling for me, for real estate, at the moment, it's not even 5% of what we do. It's very good for brand awareness. It's very good for what you do. But the eyes at the moment for us in the UK and the UAE is on portals. So the bread and butter of what we do is viewings. speaking to owners, calling
And
old
you've got an
owners.
abundance of leads anyway, haven't you? So it's not like you're struggling to get the leads. You're
So what I try and explain to people in our industry is that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Do what we ask you to do with the viewings, the offers. Do what we do in the real estate world, and then we'll add into it the social media aspect of it. But someone who's trying to do 80% social media and 20%, that business will fail at the moment, because in 10 years it might be completely different. But right now the business is in the portals, the viewings, the offers, not in Facebook. I've just done a campaign on the Palm for our new office. Got an office on the Palm, Jumeirah, Golden Mile 7. Come and visit.
Rubbish.
You opened it. But we just did a campaign there. So I spent 5,000 dirhams, I think it was. It's a month campaign, so it's about £1,000. And in 2 days on boosting an ad.
Okay.
So it's been going for about, I think, 5 days approximately. I've had 16,000 video views in however long. It's probably more than that now. That was as of last night. But you don't get any leads for it. We're not having leads yet. That's brand awareness. So I'm not expecting leads from what I'm getting from it. People know we're there. We've had subliminal advertising. We've had 3 or 4 walk-ins in 5 days. They may have seen that, but I can't control how and where they came about and how that's whether or not they've seen it or not. So if I just relied on that, we'd have no money. I have to make sure that it goes back to bread and butter for our job. But social media selling will definitely boost revenue in the next few years.
How valuable are referrals to your business?
Massive. So we have a source.
You give me a number as a percentage, and can you?
25% maybe, probably more than that, because it's broken down. Our referrals work 2 ways. You get a lettings agent that refers a landlord to someone who wants to sell now. That's still a referral effectively. That's massive for us. You know, one of the strengths of Allsop and Allsop Business is, let's say in the UAE, we've got 200 people between marketing, sales, leasing, whatever it may be. When let's say in Emirates Living, the Springs office, we've got 10 people working in Springs lettings. As soon as they speak to a landlord, the power of our company is, oh, you don't want to rent it anymore? Put it through to the sellers, the cycle of sales. A tenant living in rented, a year later wants to buy. That's referrals for us, and it's a massive part of what we do and why we've got massive traction everywhere we're going at the moment, because it's the easiest business you can get. You know that already. As soon as someone says, the reason I'm doing the mental and block with Omar is I know you very well. I've known you years, and me and Omar have spoken. You said you need to come and speak to him. He's a great guy. Picked up the phone to him straight away and said, look, let's do it. So that is how business works.
Okay, so if you were able to work solely on referrals, or the guys were able to work solely on referral in your business,
Yeah.
would that mean you'd be able to eliminate the portals?
I think maybe in 5 years portals might be eliminated, maybe 10 years anyway. I think that some sort of social revolution will take place.
Social revolution?
Social media revolution, not just
Social media revolution?
Yeah.
Come on then.
No, I don't have anything.
Right.
I just think that something like that will come, that maybe will completely destroy, because everyone's linked at the moment to social media. I can pull you sent me your location today for where it is. I Google mapped it. I figured out where you were. I can see a live location for exactly where you are. Instagram, you can tag in. I've tagged in this location there. You can figure out everything about where it is. I don't believe portals will be a massive factor in 10 years, but today they are. Going back to referrals, could I live my business off referrals? I could make money off it, but would I want to drop 98% of my revenue at the moment, or let's call it 90%? Probably not, no, because it's new income.
Is it not those types of companies that are prepared to do that thing that really disrupt an industry, though, that say, right, I'm gonna go against the grain, against what everyone's doing. I'm gonna do the opposite.
People have done that. Okay, I class myself as an entrepreneur. I'm not an amazing entrepreneur. I'm nowhere near, but I know what I'm good at. I'm good at selling houses. There's too many companies trying to disrupt. Excuse my French. Disrupt's bullshit to a degree. Disrupt is one company, 10 companies. How many small companies are trying to disrupt at the moment? But they're not actually doing it. I met a guy in Thailand that's created a hybrid between a portal and a real estate company, and he kept using the word disrupt to me. So what are you, the estate agent or a portal? We're both. Disruption is Uber. Uber is an Airbnb is disruption. What I want to do in the business will disrupt and hopefully bring. But
You just said disruption's bollocks. 1
to 10 companies. But what I'm going to do with disruption, and if it does work, is the whole concept of disruption, surely, the main thing for me when someone says disruption is not to disrupt the market. You're making it easier to do something. That's how I class disruption. You know, I always go back to Deliveroo. You go on Deliveroo when they first open, they do restaurants and you can order. Now you can order from a warehouse that has the restaurant within the warehouses. That's disruption, because clients are going, wow, this is amazing. I don't want to hear about disruption. We're saying we're revolutionising, like we're going to go against the grain. The grain pays the money. The grain pays the bills. It's where my money comes. My money comes from portals at the moment, and I'll go with the grain. And in the meantime, I'll finely tune what's going to happen in the future. But yeah, disruption is not what everyone thinks it is. You know, I've met a lot of companies. I'm sure we could sit down and list 10 companies now that have disrupted and closed in the last 5 years. Because tech is not about income.
That isn't necessarily the problem with disruption. It might be the problem with the people working at the company.
Agreed.
It might be a problem with the concept.
But the people that say I'm going against the grain, but the grain pays the income. Do you know what I mean? At the moment, the grain for Allsop and Allsop is portals, boards, referrals. That's the grain.
Okay, remove real estate brokers from the equation. Start thinking about salespeople.
Yes.
And then stop thinking about salespeople. Start thinking about buyers.
Yes.
Do buyers want to be cold called?
No.
Okay, so if there's another way for a buyer to be connected and communicated with,
Yeah.
okay, they avoid cold calling, yeah?
Of course.
Okay, so when cold calling was the only option,
Yeah.
someone disrupted that when they found another way of doing
Agreed.
it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what a lot of people don't think about, and they think about their business and their bread and butter, and it happens here a lot, is they don't think about how people want to be engaged with.
Yeah.
When you look at the numbers, the statistics, the actual statistics,
Yeah.
you'll find that there isn't a person in this city that would welcome a cold call.
Agreed.
So what can you do for those people to communicate with those people in a way that they want to be communicated with?
Look, the reality is no one wants to go to the doctors. No one. But you have to go. Put that into business terms. In real estate right now, I have a database of 50,000 people that they're not random people. They're people that have interacted, invested, bought, inquired about a property. If you're an estate agent and you've got, let's say, the Springs, and you can see all these people on our database that have inquired or wanted to rent their property last year, why would you not proactively pick up the phone and say, because you're not cold calling, we're warm calling at this point. Hey Spencer, how you doing? You inquired with us last year, what's going on in your property? At the moment, if you're not willing to do that for a big company, we're not going as a random company, they won't contact you. No one has this revolutionary app at the moment. It will be in 10 years.
All right. How often, how long have we known each other?
10, 11?
10, 11 years.
Yeah.
Okay. How often, even now we'd spend time with each other doing the show, how often do we speak on the phone?
No, we WhatsApp and I voice note you. So stop calling me. Please.
I'm going to get a ringtone and send that across to you. So how often do we speak on the phone? Very rarely, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Very rarely, because we WhatsApp and we voice note.
Yes.
All right. Why don't we just pick up the phone and call each other?
Because it's like the Deliveroo aspect. It's easier to... It's just easy, isn't it?
Yes, it's easier.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying about disruption.
But people
it's about making it easier.
But what's easier for the potential client?
Yeah.
For you to call them, or is it easier for them, not for you or your business, is it easier for them to receive a voice note?
Of course, I'm with you.
Or communication in a way that
these are all things that I am doing, but it's going to be 8 to 9 months away from completing. So, but I can't rely on that right now. So right now, where we are today, my model is, and it does work, we speak to people, but we're transitioning towards exactly what we're talking about. You don't need to speak to us. We're there if you want us. You want to make an offer, this is how you do it. You want to book a viewing, do it online. You want to find a property to sell, we'll send you a voice note. All the things that you're talking about, you want to give viewing feedback, we will let you know how to do it. All online. Don't speak to us. We're there if you need us. That's where I want my business to go. And it will go there. But in 2018, right this second, the only way for me to find out proactively if someone wants to sell the house, right this second, is pick up the phone to them. But that's not where it'll be in 3 years.
I would really welcome your thoughts and comments on this discussion that we've just had, because I think there's part of what we're saying that we agree with, and part of what we're discussing here that I think I have a different perspective on than Lewis. Fair?
Very fair.
All
He's
right.
wrong.
Hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Close. We'll be back with you with our next episode fairly soon. Whatever you do, do what Lewis does every single day. Get out there and...
Have a shower. No, make it happen.
We'll see you soon, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.